Good evening and welcome to the News Hour at 10. I'm Padmaja Joshi and the agenda seems to be set by someone else in our country today. All of us are naturally talking about the release of Wing Commander Abhinandan, but there is a particular section of India which is agog about Imran Khan. Short of conferring the Nobel Peace Prize on him, they have pretty much gone the whole hog and called it a great gesture by the Pakistani Prime Minister. A step towards reconciliation, branded him a statesman and wanted India to meet him more than halfway at the talks table. What is interesting though is that the announcement by Imran Khan came even as India refused to budge from its stand of not seeking consular access and demanding that Wing Commander Abhinandan be released without any preconditions.
Sorry, मैं एक चीज़ कहनी भूल गया एंड में हिंदुस्तान का पायलट हमने पकड़ा हुआ है. हम एज ए पीस जेस्चर हम उनको उसको कल रिहा करने लगे हैं हिंदुस्तान को वापस.
मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि इस वक्त जो पाकिस्तान ने एक इट्स अ ग्रेट जेस्चर ऑफ पीस एंड रिकन्सिलेशन, तो मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि हमारी तरफ से भी जो हमारी लीडरशिप है वो इसको रेसिप्रोकेट करेगी और कोशिश करेगी कि जो सिचुएशन इस वक्त बनी है उसको डीएस्केलेट करें.
So here's the thing. I am completely at a loss to understand exactly how is Imran Khan's action a gesture of peace or even the remotest concession to India. It's a result of a stand taken by us where we have refused to be blackmailed by a country which, by the way, had zero compunctions in using an Air Force officer as a bargaining chip. And exactly how does Imran Khan's action under pressure take away from all that he has done in the past? Are we forgetting that this same man sent in his Air Force into Indian territory to bomb military targets, something that is an act of war? He wanted to escalate the situation, and today we are branding him as some kind of Nelson Mandela? What on earth explains this delusion and self-loathing on part of some people in our country? To figure out the answer to this question is my simple agenda today.
There was a dossier given. So how do you see?
Alright, before I go across to my entire panel of guests, I want to start by bringing in Air Chief Marshal A.Y. Tipnis, former Chief of the Air Staff. Sir, I want to start by getting your point of view on what is being put forward as a gesture of peace. That's what Imran Khan called it when he announced the release of Wing Commander Abhinandan. Do you think that's what it is? A gesture of peace? A huge concession to us?
Padmaja, I'm not too sure that I have received your entire conversation. So I expect the question is asked to me, am I right?
That's correct.
About the significance of this Wing Commander being released. Yes, I mean certainly Pakistan is doing no favor. They're just following the international norms according to the Geneva Convention, and it was incumbent on them to treat Wing Commander Vartaman with the utmost of respect and care and return him to his country as soon as possible. But naturally one would expect, I mean it is according to norm, that Pakistan will try and get some mileage out of it, because it does find itself in a corner. It has sympathy from no one today, including China, where China has not unambiguously supported Pakistan. In fact, they have given a bland statement that both sides should exercise restraint. Now, normally China would never speak in those terms unless it is a clear signal to Pakistan that, listen, in this instance, I'm afraid we are not able to help you and you're on your own, so you better take care of yourself. So he's trying to get as much mileage as possible. everyone is defaulting faulty for harboring and creating terrorists not only against India but several other nations. Therefore, certainly Pakistan needs to mend its ways.
Sir, why
As far
your
as,
point of view is very important today is
great
because
stalwart,
you
the
were
wing
Chief of
commanders-
Air Staff. Sorry for interrupting you, but you were Chief of Air Staff at a time when something similar had happened during the Kargil War in '99 with Pakistan returning Flight Lieutenant Nachiketa. Do you think, like then, they will now tomorrow try to make the return of Wing Commander Abhinandan into some kind of PR coup for them, a PR spectacle as it were?
I think if you could tell your technicians to improve the audio, please, I'll be grateful, because your speech is cutting all the time.
It
Now,
will be
if
done.
I got the import of your question, you're asking how different is this situation from Nachiketa being released during the Kargil War
And do you
this
fear
one.
that they are going to turn it into
I
a
think,
PR spectacle?
The position... You know, in this instance, what has happened is, China, as I said earlier, Pakistan is finding itself in a hole. In Kargil, it didn't believe that it was in as such a big predicament as it is right now. And therefore, they were playing a little harder to return this prisoner of war, Nachiketa. So that's the situation difference. And I believe they wanted to make the rest of the world believe that this time India has entered into Pakistan territory. And yes, it is true that not only did we enter Pakistan occupied Kashmir, but we went beyond it and made an attack on Pakhtunistan. But what we have made absolutely clear is that this is a non-military action, and it's a preemptive action to prevent these terrorist groups and others from taking similar action. And if Pakistan takes action against them, dismantles their organization and destroys their camps, then India would have nothing to do with it. But for India to believe that Pakistan is doing anything of the sort, we need visible and credible evidence that this is so. And until that happens, despite whatever has happened, and there is a goodwill from our side, but if you are not satisfied that there is every possibility of these terrorist camps being used as launch pads or training camps, then it is our responsibility as security to our people and our territory that we destroy them and try and dismantle this organization. That's our responsibility. As per international law, as I understand it, every nation has the right to take care of its security and its safety.
Well, these are
Now,
sane and
I think
sound
one of the
words
things
from
that we
someone who
all
has
need
led
to
the Air
understand
Force. I
today-
wonder if the peaceniks in our country are going to be listening to that, because they already want us to forget everything that Pakistan has done to us in the very recent past and start talking with them. Thank you very much, Air Chief Marshal Tipnis, for having joined us with your point of view. I want to go across now to other guests. Dr. Sambit Patra, spokesperson of the BJP, Anand Ranganathan, author and scientist, Sushant Sareen, strategic affairs expert, and Vivek Karju, former secretary, MEA, Major General Ashok Mehta, defense analyst, Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst, Dr. Garga Chatterjee, political analyst, is also joining us. But my first question is to Royden Roach. Why are you making a virtue out of a necessity? Pakistan needed to release Wing Commander Abhinandan. You're making it out as if it is some great favor they have done India. What's the compulsion, Royden Roach?
Well, Padma, let's see what happens during an attack when somebody is taken into custody from any other country, let it be under the Geneva Convention Act or whatever it is. We have them, they're kept for longer time, longer period in the country till they get the proper information, proper sources. We all know a prisoner of war, he has to be taken care of and respected. But I don't think, as a rogue nation, Pakistan would have ever done it so fast. But since they have done it so fast,
I'm glad you concede it's a rogue nation.
We appreciate them for whatever initiative they have taken. Yes, it is a rogue nation, and we appreciate them and appreciate Imran Khan for the since he's come forward now.
So just
for
out of
peace
curiosity,
dialogue,
you
yes,
expect
but we
us
do
to
not have trust him.
now fall at their
Peace dialogue
feet
can
and
always
start talking
happen.
to them because a statesman has made a departure from an otherwise rogue nation?
No one ever says fall at their feet. Sorry, our heads rise up, and we look up above them. Let me tell you that. Our heads rise up and we
Okay,
look
so
above them.
with a
and
rising
we do
head,
not
we
want to
start
go down on
talking
our
to
knees.
a rogue
let us
nation.
not put something as go down on our knees. We have never said it and we'll never do that. And we never want a country or a prime minister to do something like that. Okay, we need a dialogue. I always said from the time we had the issue on your same channel, I said when Sindhu went to Pakistan and there was a big huge cry about it, I've always said about it. I said we need a dialogue. Why wasn't the dialogue initiated?
Sir, why are you, Sushant Sareen, just help me understand why this desperation for a dialogue with someone people themselves admit is a rogue nation. It's almost like what they say in Hindi, "Aa bail mujhe maar."
There is no way I can make you understand because I don't understand where these people come from. Because, Padmaja, if India had never had a dialogue with Pakistan, we had never entered into negotiations with Pakistan, if we were constantly at war with Pakistan, then I would understand, these kind of voices coming around. When have we not had a dialogue with Pakistan? People keep saying, there's this nonsensical tagline, give peace a chance, say no to war. Haven't we been saying no to war for the last 30 years? What have we got in return? They are making such a hue and cry. Has the Air Force pilot been weeping and wanting to come home? Has he shown any kind of weakness in resolve or resoluteness? That these people are using him as a kind of a prop to try and push the point that please go and talk to a rogue nation, as this gentleman calls it. Has the family of the pilot, the air marshal, his wife, his son, have they come and done breastbeating on television or on the streets to say that no, they all know here is an intrepid man who has been fighting for the country. Unfortunate, he has been caught on the wrong side of the border. He hasn't given up will.
Royden Roach,
he hasn't given up his
that
strength.
is the moot
family
point.
Hasn't given up the strength.
You are
these people doing
using
it?
Wing Commander Abhinandan to further your own interest. You, for some inexplicable reason, want to talk to Pakistan, want to surrender our national interest, and this time you've just got a convenient pawn.
War is not everything. Let me tell you.
For all of your weeping for Wing Commander Abhinandan, he's nothing more than a pawn for you.
I'm telling Padmaja, can I just war? We've seen the attacks. We've seen the after repercussions of the war.
Sir, I'm pretty certain Wing Commander Abhinandan has seen bigger repercussions of war and action than you have.
War is not the solution for everything. Yes,
Padmaja, can I please say something?
Sushant Sareen.
For last 30 years, we have been facing an unrelenting war from Pakistan. Here are these people who have made this one gentleman who has been caught on the wrong side of the border, a cause celebrate. What about these people and this so-called say no to war? What about these people when 40 people were killed in that bomb blast in Pulwama? When, I have seen some photographs, their bodies were not found. These shameless people are making this thing out to be, do they not talk about the tens of thousands, and I use the word advisedly, tens of thousands of people have been killed in Pakistani-sponsored terrorism. We have been saying no to war. We have been talking to Pakistan. We have been leaning over backwards to accommodate Pakistan. We have even given it to Pakistani nuclear blackmail. For the first time, we have now stopped doing it. And that is what is troubling these people. What will they get out of talk? What will they get out of a dialogue? When have the Pakistanis not stabbed us in the back on a dialogue? Mr. Vajpayee carried out a dialogue in 99. What was he rewarded with? With a stab in the back in Kargil.
Exactly.
We had Mr. Modi go to Lahore.
So
meet Nawaz Sharif.
So let's talk about specifics here. Anand Ranganathan, what does the Geneva Convention say? And a lot of people are finding it very funny that suddenly India has woken up to Geneva Convention. Thankfully, we were not in such a situation very frequently in the recent past. Unfortunately, we were day before yesterday, forced to take a look at what the Geneva Convention dictates. And according to the Geneva Convention, Section 2, release and repatriation of prisoners of war at the close of hostilities shall be done without delay after the cessation of active hostilities. Active hostilities are over. Pakistan thus had to release the prisoner without any delay. How is this a concession to India? Anand Ranganathan.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks very much for having me. Actually, this is one of those this is one of those things that is just so appalling that you begin to wonder about the logic that people are using, and most of them, I'm sorry to say, are from a lot of them are from your fraternity, and Sushant has addressed them. It is appalling to say that this, we hail this as a peace gesture. First of all, Pakistan is doing something. It is perhaps playing a mind game. So even if it had to release through the auspices of the Geneva Convention, it need not have done so, as Sushant has said, and neither did our brave pilot actually asked for it. But leave that aside. I mean, for people to say that we must have a dialogue. Now, I like to ask this gentleman, who was there before, the first one who spoke. He wants a dialogue. Dialogue is between two people. It's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. So since 1999, since 5 or 6 or maybe half a dozen major terrorist attacks on our soil perpetrated, orchestrated by Pakistan, we've had nothing else but dialogue. In fact, in Sharm el-Sheikh agreement, we even inserted what Pakistan coerced us to insert. So when we go to a dialogue with Pakistan, we will put the following things on the table. That is, you hand us over Dawood, Hafiz Saeed, Asghar, you close all the terror camps, you dismantle all the terror setups.
And I want to add to that, Anand, I want to add to that, and I want to ask specifically to all of the fans of Imran Khan who are on a panel right now. For them, Imran Khan is a hero. I want to ask them, beginning with Abdul Razak Khan, Garga Chatterjee, Royden Roach, will Imran Khan act on the Pulwama dossier given by India? Will he act against Masood Azhar? Will he hand over Dawood Ibrahim and Hafiz Saeed? Will he give consular access to Kulbhushan Jadhav, by the way? Will he do all of this, Mr. Abdul Razak Khan?
Can I reply, Padmaja?
Yes, go on.
He's asking for peace, cowardice, saying no to war.
I am not saying it's cowardice.
The kind of presentation.
I am just saying, since you're so blown away by Imran Khan's action, do you now expect him to act on the Pulwama dossier? 40 people were killed there. I'm sure your heart bleeds for them.
First of all, on 20th August 2018, when Padmaja, first of all, on 20th August 2018, when Imran Khan became the Prime Minister of Pakistan, in his first address, he said that he wants friendship with India.
Sir, leave 2018. I am talking about 2019.
And occasionally, if you look
14th February 2019, 40 men were blown to bits by a terror organization that finds refuge in Pakistan. Will your hero act against the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and will he act on the dossier that India has given him? What do you think? What's the gut feeling you get?
We need to negotiate. We need to start a dialogue. We need to negotiate.
Why do we need to start a dialogue to have Pakistan act on evidence?
And make him
Imran Khan said, give me actionable evidence.
But what I
we have given him a dossier.
Is that, no
Don't you think Imran Khan should act on that dossier?
No two nations have come together after a military action.
Mr. Kajju is a seasoned diplomat. Let me ask him. Mr. Kajju, we've had an act of aggression. We have given a dossier to Pakistan. Now, do we need to initiate talks before expecting Pakistan to act?
Look, Padmaja, let's be clear. Imran Khan does not matter. The people who matter are the generals in Pakistan. And therefore, I do not know why is there such obsession with Imran Khan. That is point one. Point two, our position has always been that yes, we will talk, but terror and talk cannot go together, and that is valid. Point three, let us not forget that in the UFA joint statement signed between Prime Minister Modi or decided between Prime Minister Modi and Nawaz Sharif on July 24, 2015, the Pakistanis and we had agreed that the first item of discussion will be terror.
Yes.
And that discussion will take place in India. The Pakistani generals refused to allow this, and the Pakistani generals have never changed their stand. So therefore, to those in India
But
who
sir,
think
after
that
Nawaz
Pakistan
Sharif,
will
it was
change
Imran Khan who
its
himself
entire
expressed
approach on
that he
terror,
wants friendship
I
with
only
India.
have to say
Our
that
government
they
did
are
not
living
catch
in
on
cuckoo
it.
land.
We should have
They
catched
don't
in on it.
understand Pakistan. They just don't understand this beast. You must understand the nature of the beast
Sir,
before you
our
proceed
government
further.
has not given us anything more than tensions, troubles and tears to the people of the nation. A hurried attack on Pakistan
What are you talking
was not
about?
warranted.
You are being political.
The army should have been given time.
You are being political.
I somehow feel
let's
that
not
there
talk
was
about
pressure
all
on the
this.
army to take
I don't
immediate
know
action
where
for
these
some
people come
political
from.
gains within the
Our
country.
government, everything is political.
If you look at the statements made by Prakash Javadekar ji, B.S. Yediyurappa and the Prime Minister
Mr.
himself,
Razak Khan,
it very clearly points out that they're
what
trying
great
to
new hope
politicize
is
the
Imran Khan
situation.
getting to the table?
I'm
Just a
not a
second.
politician.
Since you're
I'm
so
only
in
concerned
awe
with
and love with
facts
Imran Khan,
relating to
let me
Pakistan
tell
and
you
what should be our
exactly
national
what
approach.
Pakistan
You can
thinks
do your
today
political
about
with
the
Mr. Modi
Pulwama dossier
separately.
that we have given them. We spoke to Abdul Basit, who other than being a seasoned
But
diplomat was the
time
High
and again
Commissioner to India,
he
the
has-
Pakistani former High Commissioner to India. Here is what he thinks about the dossier that we have compiled. They ask for actionable intelligence. This is how they treat actionable intelligence. Listen in.
Today also there was a dossier given. So how do you see this, that isn't it Pakistan that is not acting on its word?
Sir, I have seen these dossiers and I can tell you that these are just, pieces of literature, nothing more. So if India has any kind of, actionable evidence, irrefutable things, that needs to be shared with Pakistan. But the problem is that India doesn't have these things. And it is just resort to propaganda, disinformation, and so on and so forth.
Mr. Abdul Razak Khan, it's a piece of literature. 40 people died and Pakistan says this is a piece of literature. This is the country that you want to talk to.
Shocking.
But there has to be some kind of an approach from this government. We have not even approached Pakistan.
Sir, क्या
What I'm
approach
trying to
करेंगे?
convey today is military
पैरों पे
action
गिर
is
जाएं
not
क्या?
a permanent
डॉसियर
solution.
दें और फिर उसके बाद
Come on,
उनके
Padmaja,
सामने हम
we have seen
भजन
from
करें
the
कि
history
प्लीज
those
कुछ
two
कीजिए इस
nations
डॉसियर का.
have come.
What is the approach?
बात इस डॉसियर की
You
सिर्फ इस
asked for
डॉसियर की
evidence,
नहीं है.
we
attack
gave
तो सिर्फ ये
evidence.
नहीं है.
You said there
कई
is no
सालों
Jaish
से
e
attack
Mohammed.
होते
We
आ रहे
said
हैं.
listen,
जब-
this is the dossier on Jaish e
जब
Mohammed.
पहली बार-
Then you said let's approach them further. What exactly is this approach that you are
देखिए, अटल जी
seeking?
का अप्रोच चाहिए. अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी का अप्रोच चाहिए. उनको डराकर आंख भी दिखाए थे. बस में लाहौर तक भी गए थे.
Atal Bihari
अटल
Vajpayee
के
ji ka
approach से कुछ
approach, that's
सीखना
a
चाहिए
great
इस
analogy
सरकार
because
को.
we know
अगर
how
अटल
that
जी का
approach was
approach लेते
rewarded,
हैं.
wasn't it? Anand Ranganathan. That's a great example to give. Let's set ourselves up again.
Yes, and
No,
And-
Modi ji bhi Lahore gaye the.
yes, absolutely. And let me just add a couple of things. There is a very easy question, or almost like a debit test for Mr. Razak Khan. Let me ask him: does he consider Burhan Wani or Afzal Guru as terrorists? Anything else is subsidiary.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are terrorists. Who is denying that they are
now,
not terrorists?
let me say, when you talk of peace, yes, so can I just finish my point, please? Can I finish my point, Mr. Khan? Can I? Now,
Exactly,
a
you can.
horde of people since yesterday have been saying this is a country of Gandhi. We must act like Mahatma Gandhi. We want peace. So let me just give you two instances, Padmaja. It'll take only 10 seconds. Gandhi's appeal to Britons on the eve of the Battle of Britain and Nazi invasion. Fight Nazism without arms. Invite Herr Hitler to take possession of your island. If he refuses to give a free passage out, allow yourself, man, woman and child, to be slaughtered. Gandhi's views on the Holocaust and what the Jews should have done. Disarm Hitler by praying to him.
Okay,
Jews
Anand,
should
I'm sorry,
have-
I'll have to interrupt you at this point because we're just getting news. I believe the Jamaat-e-Islami, after an initial crackdown by the Indian government on them in Kashmir, now there's a complete ban on the Jamaat-e-Islami in Kashmir. This is huge. Remember, over the last 2 weeks, a number of their activists were picked up by the center, and now the crackdown gets much bigger. The real trigger of the unrest in Kashmir has now been banned. Rahul Shivshankar joins us for more on that. Finally, the iron fist is beginning to show. Rahul.
Yes, indeed, it's a very clear message. You're with India or then you're against India. That's what is being sent out. Now, remember, in the Kashmiri discourse and also in the Pakistani discourse and in some sections of the moderating view in this country, these are the prime stakeholders in what is often described as the Kashmir process. So today, the message that is going out is that if you have sympathies towards Pakistan, or if you have funding that is rooted via Pakistan, or if you depend upon your moral sustenance on Pakistan, then you are no longer going to be tolerated in Jammu and Kashmir by the Indian state. You will no longer be recognized as an entity worth engaging in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, where will this end, Padmaja? That's the question we have to ask. What is the red line? Is the Hurriyat next? And if they become persona non grata, as they already are in a sense, then obviously this will complicate matters in Jammu and Kashmir for those who have always tried to play this sphere against the Indian state. There's also another subtle message going out now to the valley, and that is that there is no alienation. The alienation is bred because of individuals who act as conduits for Pakistani propaganda, that on the back of money from the ISI and the Pakistani deep state and a network of radicals is spewing a form of anti-India hysteria, anti-India sort of paranoia in the valley. And therefore, the center is going to justify its ban by suggesting that these are the individuals that are actually pushing the youth of Jammu and Kashmir, which would happily go along with the Indian mainstream and allow themselves to be absorbed by the Indian mainstream, but for the presence of this sort of influence. So that's really the message that is going on, Padmaja.
Well, that's got to be really awkward, Rahul, considering that we have a huge section of very influential voices in India pushing for talks with Pakistan, which actively aids, abets and funds the Jamaat-e-Islami. And here you have the center actually saying, sorry, we are actually going to first crack down on Pakistan's agents right here on our soil. Thanks very much, Rahul, for joining us with that bit of very, very big breaking information. Again, coming back, Royden Roach, Abdul Razak Khan, and now I want to bring in Dr. Garga Chatterjee, because in the evening we had Mamta Banerjee also saying this is a great gesture by Pakistan. Are you also an advocate of talks again with Pakistan? We should go back, right?
Let me, please don't interrupt, couple of things to say. First of all, you characterized me as a Imran Khan fan, so please don't mischaracterize, this is not journalistic integrity. Having said that, what I would like to say is that Abdul Basit said the dossier is a literature.
Yes.
After Pathankot, we gave a literature. We gave this literature in his opinion.
Right.
Okay. We gave one dossier after Pathankot.
Right.
Now we have given another dossier. Is this a resolute government? Number one. Number two, today Donald Trump, US President, has claimed publicly on video that he has mediated between India and Pakistan. Has India done a
Sir, you're not answering my question. You're not answering my question. My simple question to you is, there has been aggression.
Let me finish. I will come.
And we have given proof again and again. Now there is proof also of how Pakistan, which you are pushing us to talk to, is funding people in Kashmir. Organizations which today have been banned, which are radicalizing Kashmiris. The Jamaat-e-Islami has been on the radar of our intelligence agencies for long, and now today it stands banned, funded and abetted by the same Pakistan who you find an apostle of peace. How do you react to that?
Since you bring, first of all, Jamaat-e-Islami is a horrible organization. Anywhere in the world it exists, it should be banned everywhere. First
Who backs them?
Secondly, since you bring in Mamata Banerjee and want to do a brought in Mamata Banerjee and want to do a political twist, let me ask, what was Narendra Modi doing his Khelo India app while Abhinandan was captured? Why is B.S. Yediyurappa talking about number of seats being increased? And
you are the ones pushing the government for talks with the Pakistan that encourages feelings of alienation in Kashmir.
Let me finish. I would like to suggest a debate test to Sombit Patru. Does he consider Ajit Doval's son doing business, still to this day doing business with the Pakistani?
So you have answered everything except the question that I have asked you. On what basis do you give Imran Khan a clean chit? Vivek Karju, again coming back to you. On what basis exactly is Imran Khan being given a clean chit? None of his actions in the past betray any kind of trust that India can have in him.
Look, Imran Khan has shown no genuine desire for peace or good relations with India. It's only been routine talk. As I've told you, he really matters very little in the Pakistan scheme of things. The people who matter are the generals. Let us see, what has he asked? He's asked for actionable intelligence. That is laughable. If Jaish-e-Mohammed is in Pakistan, everyone knows, the whole world knows about its activities, it's proscribed, and we will give him actionable intelligence about an organization which is there and which breeds terror from the territory of Pakistan. He has asked for joint investigation. That is the same thing which Pakistan has wanted every time, wanting something which is impossible because it will never achieve its purpose. After Pathankot, we allowed their joint investigation team. That was a Pakistani team.
And they never reciprocated it.
Mr. Modi very generously allowed them to go to Pathankot. Now what did it yield? Nothing. So what will Imran Khan bring new to the table?
No, our NIA team was supposed to go to Pakistan as a reciprocal gesture. That never happened. The actionable intelligence, sir, and can the other three gentlemen respond to this? The actionable intelligence was with the Railways Minister of Pakistan. In Parliament, he spoke about, हाँ वहाँ पर मदरसे चलाते थे, अजहर साहब के मदरसे थे. Maybe he could have just hopped across to Imran Khan and delivered that actionable intelligence to the Prime Minister. He wouldn't have had to ask India for it. Listen to what the Railways Minister said in Parliament of Pakistan, believe it or not.
Go to the full video for what?
मदरसा है वहाँ, अजहर साहब का. क्या एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस की हमसे गुहार लगा रहे हैं इमरान खान साहब?
देखिए पहले हमको ये समझना होगा कि even Imran Khan is a victim of some terror outfits within his country as well.
Imran Khan is a victim.
Take what dialogues he has said all this while.
Sushant Sareen.
Yes, exactly. In his country there is terrorism.
Please, I must respond to this.
This is a new one.
Terrorism in his country. He's a new prime minister.
Mr. Karju wants to respond first, then Sushant Sareen. Mr. Karju.
Is he out of his mind?
देखिए,
is he out of his mind?
Imran Khan, how does one respond to this kind of stuff?
Speaking of Naya Pakistan,
how does one respond to this?
Zero tolerance.
You know, this guy is so ridiculous.
How does it matter what Imran Khan is talking about?
That, you know,
how does it matter what Imran Khan is talking about?
Sir, there is terrorism within this country, India as well. We cannot deny that.
This is not even apology.
Sir, we cannot deny that there is terrorism in India as well.
Sir, Imran Khan कहाँ से victim हो गए?
We have a weak leadership. It is letting India down.
Mr. Karju.
Pakistan is a terrorist country
He
and we have a weak
talking
leadership.
of Naya Pakistan. He has been talking of zero tolerance for terror. Why shouldn't India give him a chance?
We should not give him a chance because A, he is a puppet. B, he has done absolutely nothing to inspire confidence. C, he violated our territorial integrity, tried to bomb our military targets, and D, gives shelter to an organization which kills our people, which is why we shouldn't give him a chance.
First address as the Prime Minister,
But this question of victimhood, Vivek Karju,
in his first address as the Prime Minister, he talked about friendship with India.
I am amazed.
Uninvited, our Prime Minister has been to Pakistan.
Mr.
What is
Karju.
wrong if we give him a chance? If we have a dialogue with him?
Sir, Mr. Karju.
I am amazed at the gullibility of people. Just because Imran Khan is saying something routine, playing to the gallery, international galleries, we should believe him. Second point, on terrorism, Pakistan has spawned terrorism. Some of these terrorist groups have turned against them, and that is the terrorism that they are suffering from. No one is responsible for their terror. They've created Frankensteins which turned against the Pakistan state. That's totally different from the terrorist organizations that operate here, whom they sustain. वो उनके बच्चे हैं, उनको पालते हैं वो.
अब्दुल रज़ाक
समझते
खान.
क्यों नहीं है कोई?
Karju sir, don't you also feel that, the kind of situation we are facing in this country, we need to resolve this cross-border terrorism, infiltration. We have been spending 3,60,000 crores every year on our defense. Why not give a chance to dialogue when the Prime Minister has time and again himself said, I want friendship with India, I will not tolerate terror.
Padmaja, I must respond to this.
Initiate, come on. One Sidhu had been to Pakistan.
Padmaja, I must respond
he was
to this.
able to get Kartarpur for India. So why not a delegation who can go ahead and speak? Because the military action has never favored any nation in the past history to study.
क्यों उन्होंने किया? But I will tell you some facts. We have been talking to Pakistan ever since this phase of terror began in 1990. I have been personally involved in these discussions and these talks with Pakistan when I was working as a professional diplomat in the Ministry of External Affairs. I've seen Pakistan from Afghanistan where I was ambassador. My simple question is, has it yielded any results?
Garga Chatterjee, has it yielded any results?
People who repeat the same thing without hope that there will be others.
It has never
there will
yielded
be
any
other
results,
results
number one.
by repeating the same process
Number one,
over and
So if
over
it has
again,
yielded no results,
can only
why
be
do you
defined
keep beating
in a
that
certain
drum?
category?
Or are you more desperate to give the credit to Imran Khan because politically it would be disastrous for you, God forbid, India was to look superior in a diplomatic standoff, because then the ruling government would walk away with the credit. You would much rather have Pakistan take the credit than someone in your own country.
When they are in the back foot in their own country.
Again, these dialogues have not helped, and we are in the shameful situation for the first time since the Shimla agreement that the Kashmir issue is now being talked about by US President. He is saying that it has been internationalized. What kind of government do we have?
Sir, this is a classic case of cutting your nose to spite your face.
Padmaja, this guy is a one-trick pony. He has been trying to peddle this line the day through. The problem with him is, and the problem with many of the people watching your show is, they don't read the kind of poisonous stuff against India which this fellow writes in the Pakistani press. But having said that, I don't have to accuse you. I have utter contempt for you.
It is Narendra Modi. It is Narendra Modi who has
I will have to take a bath after this program because I've been on the same show with you. You are such a despicable character, but forget about it. Let's come down to the point which this fellow is trying to make. The point is this, that whenever tension between India and Pakistan mounts, the great powers try and enter. But you have to look at on what side have they entered. And the side which they have entered is that the pressure is on the Pakistanis to disengage. The pressure is on the Pakistanis to not behave like a criminal enterprise and use the Indian Air Force pilot as a hostage, as and demand some kind of ransom in terms of talks or whatever. So there has been no real pressure on India. The pressure has been on the Pakistanis to de-escalate. There has been no real pressure on India. Now, I don't know where this guy is getting his information from, but he obviously is trying to peddle some nonsense, and I have no use for it. On the other substantive point, just shut up. On the other substantive point, you know what Mr. Razak Khan is saying? Every time we have done a dialogue, it's not that this is the first time in 70 years we are talking to Pakistan, or we are being proposed to talk to Pakistan. Every time we talk to Pakistan, they stab us in the back. When have they not stabbed us in the back? Please tell me one Pakistani Prime Minister who, when he comes to office, does not make these noises that he wants to have good relations with India. And what does he do after that? What does he do after that? He does not stop the export of terrorism into India. He is always a puppet who plays in the hands of the military establishment, which actually nurtures and sponsors these terror groups. That is the problem.
I would like to ask the gentleman, when he said he was part of the talk, what did he do?
How many of them can
what
tell me how
was
many
his suggestion to the
districts there are
government
in Pakistan and
for
how
so
many
long?
provinces there are in
And
Pakistan?
he's talking about,
They don't know the backside from the front side of
talking
Pakistan,
about
and
terror.
here these guys are coming and talking about Pakistan.
When we have terror and talks, we need a plan B also, immediate action. If terror talks do not go on, then we have to have a plan B. Please understand that, gentlemen. You said you are part of the delegation who was talking to Pakistan and then
immediate
nothing.
action. What do you know about how the armed forces work? What do you know about security? You've suddenly woken up, you've read some comic books and you've come up with this thing, immediate action. You are a comic book analyst. You come up and you say that we should have action. But what kind? Are you a serious analyst also?
Anand Ranganathan, you know what is interesting? What I find very interesting about gentlemen like Royden Roach, Garga Chatterjee and Abdul Razak Khan, that we are at a place today where our External Affairs Minister is invited to a meeting of the OIC, of which incidentally Pakistan is a founding member. Pakistan threw a tantrum and said, if you do not disinvite India, we may just boycott it. Despite that, OIC did not withdraw its invitation to India. We have the entire world standing with us, but strangely Abdul Razak Khan, Royden Roach, Garga Chatterjee are giving Pakistan cover fire. Isn't that strange?
Padmaja, we cannot
Padmaja,
there of innocent civilians. What wrong have they done?
The question was addressed to me, gentlemen.
We cannot risk the lives of innocent civilians.
Again,
Mr. Rogrides, please. The question was addressed to me.
Anand Ranganathan.
Can I please answer it?
What prompts this cover fire?
Yeah, you know, Padmaja, there is one thing that I think Mr. Razak Khan said about 5 minutes ago. He might not be that off the mark. Imran Khan probably is a victim, but as much as Osama bin Laden was a victim. Now, let me explain. You see, 30 years ago, there used to be, when Indian prime ministers would meet with Pakistani prime minister, there would be some credence, you know, something tangible would come out of that discussion. You remember Benazir Bhutto, Rajiv Gandhi, things of that sort. People forget that in the last 30-40 years, the frightening pace of religious fundamentalism, of fanaticism that has overtaken Pakistan, you know, it is almost overcome with it. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan is almost there, not quite, almost there in becoming Islamic State.
And which, by the way, Anand, they're trying to push into India, in Kashmir, through the Jamaat.
Yes. So the point is, you know, there is a substantial middle class, upper middle class population, people like, prosperous people like Imran Khan. They have spawned, as Mr. Diplomat said, they've spawned these terrorist organizations. They will be at the receiving end of it because religious zealotry is not going to spare anyone. And I think
Abdul Razak Khan, don't weep for Imran Khan just as yet.
You see what happened with that the Christian lady, the blasphemy case. Millions came onto the streets. Even Supreme Court had to take a back seat. So when it comes to religion, all these people.
Sir, if we only keep thinking that he is a puppet at the hands of the army and it is the army which is organizing terror, and if we don't proceed with talks, and if we think that only a military action can be a resolution, I think we are wrong. From the past, we can learn that a military action can never be a
But sir,
resolution
military
between
action
two
was
nations
not
like
done
this.
by us,
We have
Mr.
seen
Khan.
many nations
Do you
fight
not
which have
realize
not
that the
resolved
military
the issue.
aggression was carried out, Sushant Sareen, by Pakistan? Is this country or a portion of it in complete
Look,
denial
not
about
only-
what was done day before yesterday?
Yes.
No, it's not denial. It's not denial. I think it's advocacy. It's not denial. The problem is that forget about military. Nobody is saying
Well
that
said,
military
Sushant.
action is the only action we
said.
need to take. We do need to take military action. We need to put, we need to use force to crush some of these fellows. But we also need to use a whole lot of other things, which does not include talking to Pakistan, because there is no point getting into a dialogue of the deaf where you are going to be misled. What you will have to do is you will have to create conditions which force Pakistan into a point where they come for a dialogue with you. You don't have to go for a dialogue with them. And the conditions for that will have to be created by you by squeezing them in a 360 way, a 360 degree way.
Absolutely,
Which means
and that
on the
condition will
economy,
definitely not be
on
created
diplomacy,
if
on
overcome by
politics.
self-loathing,
That
we
is how
take
that
every
is that
opportunity
can
to
be
rush in and pardon Pakistan for all their sins of the very, very recent past. Do not forget for a moment, even though Wing Commander Abhinandan comes back tomorrow, just 2 days ago, Pakistan tried to enter your country and bomb your military targets. They are sheltering people who are attacking us or planning to attack us every day. Every time somebody tells you, let's talk to Imran Khan, the statesman, these are the people that he is actively abetting or at least turning a blind eye to at the very least. Think about that even as we welcome Wing Commander Abhinandan back tomorrow. For the time being, thank you very much for having joined us on the News Hour agenda, the viewers and the panelists.